everybody, Dr. T here. Today we are going to be discussing another law that came to be due to a DV case. Jennifer Dulos was born in New York City and attended Brown University, where she graduated in 1990 and where she first met her husband, Fotis Dulos, while he was still married to his first wife. A month after his divorce, Jennifer and Dulos were married and moved to Farmington, Connecticut. They had 5 children together, including 2 sets of twins. In 2012, Jennifer made a blog post about having trouble in the marriage. I wish I were a strong person and that confrontation did not both scare and appall me. After finding out that Fotis was living a separate life, she had a suspicion Fotis was having an affair with Michelle Triconis, which turned out to be true. Jennifer filed for divorce in 2017 and moved about 70 miles away with her children. In the divorce filings, Jennifer wrote, "I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way." Fotis was an abuser with narcissistic tendencies who not only gaslit Jennifer, but everyone else involved in his family court case: lawyers, therapists, forensic custody evaluators, and yes, even the judge. Jennifer requested a restraining order, though it was denied because the judge, apparently not trained in domestic abuse coercive control tactics, said that she was unable to prove that she was a victim of physical abuse, according to Connecticut statutes at the time. Jennifer also alleged that Fotis had threatened to kidnap their children if she did not agree to his terms in the divorce settlement, and that he had bought a gun that year. Fotis denied the claim of threats, but indicated he bought the gun for protection. Jennifer requested an emergency order of custody, as they had temporary joint custody until the divorce was finalized. In 2018, she was granted sole physical custody after the judge found that Fotis violated several court orders. However, they both had joint legal custody, and Fotis was granted supervision, visitation, and monitored phone calls. In May of 2019, Jennifer disappeared after dropping her children off at school. A neighbor's home camera showed Jennifer returning home at 8:05 a.m. However, she did not show up for 2 different doctor's appointments that day, and friends reported her missing after being unable to reach her later that night. Officers searched the home and found blood splatter in the garage and in the vehicle. DNA revealed most of it to be Jennifer's. However, there was blood in the kitchen sink, which was a mix of Jennifer's and Fotis's. After reviewing a neighbor's security camera, they saw Fotis at around 10:25 that morning, driving Jennifer's vehicle and carrying Jennifer's body. At around 7:30 that night, Fotis and Triconis were seen dumping garbage bags into random bins in the city, and it was found to have various pieces of bloodied clothing and blood-stained cleaning items. The blood was Jennifer's. Fotis's DNA was also found on some of the items. Jennifer's vehicle was found 3 miles away from her home. Jennifer's body was never found. In June 2019, Fotis and Triconis were arrested and charged with tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution. There was no evidence at the time to warrant any more serious charges. Both pled not guilty to the charges. They were again arrested for tampering with evidence in September of 2019 and again pled not guilty. In January 2020, Fotis was arrested for the 3rd time and charged with capital murder, and kidnapping in relation to Jennifer's disappearance. Triconis was also arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Jennifer's family stated after the arrests, "Although we were relieved that the wait for these charges is over, for us, there is no sense of closure. Nothing can bring Jennifer back. We miss her every day and will forever mourn her loss." Fotis's bond was set at $6 million. He was released the following day and was due to return to court in February. Troconis stated it was a mistake to trust Fotis, but continued to deny she knew what happened to Jennifer. Troconis' court date was set for August. While out on bail, Fotis appeared to his hearing. He was found unresponsive by state police at his home by leaving his car running in a closed garage. A faint pulse was found and he was transferred to the local hospital where he was eventually taken off life support and pronounced dead after 2 days. Troconis was sentenced to 14.5 years in prison for her role in Jennifer's disappearance. In October of 2020, Jennifer's family sought to have her declared legally dead. The court initially denied it as Connecticut law stated that the 7-year deadline had not been achieved. But in October 2023, another court granted the request due to Jennifer's mother's advancing age, as she was the legal guardian of Jennifer's children. In May 2021, a domestic violence bill, known as Jennifer's Law in Connecticut, expands the legal definition of domestic violence to include coercive control. This legislation, named in honor of Jennifer Dulos, was enacted after her high-profile disappearance and is designed to address patterns of controlling and abusive behavior that may not involve physical violence, but are nevertheless a form of domestic abuse. It includes behaviors like coercion, intimidation, and control that can be used to dominate a partner. The law also acknowledges that domestic violence can manifest in non-physical ways, particularly in cases of emotional and psychological abuse. It gives victims a legal framework to address patterns of coercive behavior that previously may not have been recognized as domestic violence. By broadening the scope of domestic violence, it seeks to protect more individuals from abusive relationships. Jennifer's Law also includes Jennifer Magnano, which I will discuss in my next video. While it is called Jennifer's Law, it is really intended to honor all the women and children who have lost their lives, who have been harmed, or who have been injured, and the survivors who are still fighting for their freedom, for the right to live without abuse.
If you or someone you know is in an abusive situation, call the National Helpline at 1-800-799-SAFE or text START to 88788. Everyone deserves a healthy relationship.